Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you our winter yard routine. So it's not going to be so much about the riding, it's going to be more about the management of the horses and how the yard runs. I think this is a really vital part to show as well, because I think you will all just see me mostly riding, but I've also done this side when I was younger, when I was 16. This is all I basically did. So yeah, let's get into it. Firstly, we're going to start with doing what happens when we start the yard, so at 7 o'clock. Obviously it's not going to be in real time, but yeah, you'll get the general idea. Okay, so we start the yard at 6:30, and the first thing we do is feed all the horses. So all the feed is pre-made the day before for the morning, and it's all made in here, and these are all their buckets. And then we just grab their food and give it to them, and then we also hay them up at the same time. So one of our top tips for winter and feeding is to give them a little mash. When it's really cold as well, we put warm water in it, so it's like a porridge. It's really good for keeping them hydrated, and I just think it's nice and cozy. So after they've all had their food, we then hay them up. So this is for when they've got off the walker, when they've come back in from the field. Yeah, so we'll just give Joey some now. I'm sure he's going to be happy with that. Oh, good boy. What's this? Good boy. Move your tushy. Okay, so we tend to fill them up to the top, but we don't pack it down. So we kind of know how much they're getting, and that's kind of our gauge of how much hay and haylage they're having. We always feed hay in the morning, and then later on they have some haylage, so they have a mixture throughout the day. Joey's gonna eat you. So next up is turning them out in the field. Turning them out in the field, and then some of them also go on the walker. We do turn our horses out in the winter when we can. When the weather's terrible, obviously it's a little bit harder, and we try not to turn them out for as long so that we save the ground. But yeah, this is what we do when we get them ready. We have the longer boots for the more advanced horses, for the ones that have 4 shoes on. And then we have little boots for the younger ones that don't have the shoes on. And when they go on the walker, they wear boots like this. So these are actually sausages. Yeah, so we put these on, and they also wear, this is our box of overreach boots, and they wear those too, so that saves pulling off shoes. Yeah, and then they go out in the field. So we also have different weight turnouts for them, depending on the weather. These are where they all dry off, and then for the ones that are going on the walker, we have special walker rugs which have their shoulders out so they don't rub them. But of course a lot of our horses are clipped, so we don't want to put them on the walker and them get cold. So these are the ones we use, and this is sausages. So in the winter we try and get our horses out as much as possible. Obviously we're really lucky that we've got the walker and the fields, and I know for some people they're not as lucky, so all you've got to think is you've just got to do what you can do. Don't feel bad if you can't get them out as much as I'm saying, but yeah, just do what you can. So this stable has been mucked out, but I'm just going to demo how we do it. I was just having a conversation with Thea though about mucking out. When I first started vlogging, a few people wrote on my videos, oh, I didn't think you did mucking out, and it's really funny, like the perception people have of riders. They don't think that they put that work in. But what's really important is to remember, like wherever you're trying to get to, even if it's not in the equestrian industry, like you have to put the work in, you have to graft, you have to learn to do the things that are not so glamorous. And especially in the equestrian industry, horses are always pooing. They always need maintaining, they always need looking after. So it needs doing, and it taught me so many life lessons about just how to like get on with it and dig deep and work hard. So after we've mucked them out and put the banks up, we then put the bed straight back down for when they're ready to come in. I've just got to put it down before I make the pillow. Oh, and we take, especially in the shaving beds, try and take any like hay that's been dragged through it out. It's always the fun part. And then This is what I call their little pillows. So we make a little bank. So this is good for when they're rolling so that they don't get cast. So we just fluff up the sides like so, and then run it across the top. Little pat. And there's a little pillow. And then yeah, do that all the way around. I definitely picked the messiest horse to film. So after they have all been mucked out and everything's done, we start tidying up. So we sweep up and then we all have breakfast together before starting the day. Let's go to the tack room. So we all have breakfast in here together, and then once we've done that, I will start riding. I always tack my first horse up by myself, and then after I've done that, someone will be tacking the horses up and helping me switch over. Because I have so many, we want to get through as efficiently as possible. I know a lot of people that come into the equestrian industry, they look at the riding as like the end goal, that's what they want to do, and a lot of people find it irritating that they have to do the yard work. We've had people come in and they say to me, I just want to ride. But I think it's important to realise that the yard work teaches you so many life lessons. It teaches you that things don't just come easy. It's also taught me loads, because as well, when you come to the riding, it's not just about sitting there looking pretty. It's really hard work. You have to dig deep, you have to work, you sweat, you get tired. And it's kind of the same as when you're working on the yard. It is hard work. So I learnt loads of lessons from doing the yard work and then moved it over to my riding. Okay, so after breakfast and once I've jumped on my first horse, we have swept all the yards, but the main part of the yard needs blowing with this beast because it's just too much to sweep, especially in the winter when it's cold and all muddy and whatever. So yeah, let's go. I've got to start with it, obviously. I'm not kidding when I say this thing's a beast to start.
That's how you went with gin.
I'm out of practice. It's got fuel in it. Yeah. Oh! So after that we go and poo pick the fields, which isn't as bad in the winter because they're not out for as long, but it's still really important to make sure that the grass stays nice for them to eat. So let's go find the quad bike, which is not in here. Oh, the gardener has it. So I've just found the quad bike. We're gonna go steal it for the benefits of this video. So this part of the video is pretty self-explanatory. Go into field, find poo, pick up poo, put poo in trailer, drive off and find next poo. So after the morning is done, we try and get all the horses ridden before 1 o'clock, because 1 o'clock is when we have lunchtime. So it's from 1 till 2 and we all get together, eat yummy food, chat. And again, it's just that like community thing where we can all catch up with each other. So yeah, let's head in. Lunchtime. So you made all the food.
Did you go poo picking?
So yeah, so normally...
You know how to do that?
Banter. So Mum cooks nice lunches for everyone. Don't you, Mama?
And today we've eaten it all.
And they've eaten it all whilst we've been filming. I just said outside the reality. I was like, oh, we all get in, we have nice food together, it's all cosy. I walk in and they've eaten it all.
And we're going back to work.
And you're going back to work. So after we've all had lunch, we then go back out at 2 o'clock the horses that haven't been on the walker already go on the walker. Then we just tidy up. So we skip out, we hay up, we make sure all the horses are happy. We groom any if they need grooming, and then they get fed. And that's basically it. There are like little niggly things that go on as well, but that's the main chunk of it in the winter. Some horses are still out in the field, so they'll come in. In the summer they get turned out, but in the winter they're all in, so there's no turnout in the afternoons. But yeah, that's basically it. He's lying down. So after the poo picking, what happens is loads of different little niggly things. We do the drying room, so that's from all the stuff that's been washed. We put things in the wash if they need doing. We keep skipping out. If the horses have been wet, their rugs might need changing. We have turnout where the horses are coming in and out. We do tack cleaning from the ones that I've ridden. So yeah, just loads of little bits and bobs. So this is the mash I was talking about earlier. It's just getting ready. They have it at dinner as well. Yummy, with the big wooden spoon. So after lunch, it's basically like the same sort of thing that we were going through in the mornings, where we're just like skipping out, tidying up, all that sort of thing. But I remember when I was younger, it's not even that long ago actually, it was like 3 years ago, yeah, just before I started vlogging. I used to be working on the yard and just wish that I could be doing something else. I was like, oh, if only I could just go off teaching, or I was just riding, and I was always wishing myself into a different circumstance. But now I realise, because I've done both, that it's still really hard work. So going off and teaching, I'm doing more travelling, I'm getting tired from that, I'm still working really hard. So it's important to not look at someone else and be like, oh, their life's easier than mine. Everybody has their ups and downs, everybody has their different things going on. And just to be happy at the situation you're in, and to be, yeah, grateful for what you're getting out of that. Yeah, another life lesson for you. So we finish up by feeding them, and I was gonna do where I fed one for the video, but you know what they're like when you start wrestling around in the feed room, they will all kick off, and it's just an hour too early, so I'm not going to demonstrate that. But that is what we do, and then once they've all eaten, we take their buckets out, and then it's lights out around 4 o'clock. Sometimes I am doing different things, so it might be a little bit later. Things have to fluctuate with horses, because nothing, although this is our routine, it's constantly changing, constantly evolving, that's completely normal. But we try and give them a nice peaceful time from like 4:30, and then at 7 o'clock, or 7:30, sorry, we come out and we do night-night checks, which is where we give them some night-night nuts, which are just there, just to check that they're all happy, they're all eating. And then we skip them out, hay them up, check they're all happy, and then, yeah, switch the lights off at 8 o'clock and leave them to sleep. So that is basically the skeleton to our winter yard routine. Like I said before, it does fluctuate, but that is like the basics. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a comment so I can read them and reply. Give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to the FEI, because we will be bringing you many more videos. Yeah, see you for the next one.